Welcome.
Thank you.
Let me come to you immediately, Derek. First of all, congratulations really for being chosen to be in the top 10 for the CNN Awards.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
I'm humbled by it.
What makes you tick really? What do you think the judges saw in you? I gather that you are a remarkable leader, you have compassion, you have overcome all sorts of tragedies that anybody can think about. What really makes you tick?
I think what makes me tick is this idea that there's this unfairness around the world that sort of preys on regular people. It could be economic unfairness, it could be social unfairness, it could be religious persecution. I just don't like the idea of unfairness. And I think in this regard, with the Global South Project, the one area that I thought was very unfair was the issue of healthcare for the poor. To see regular people like you and I go through a painful bracket of not getting something as simple as a bar of soap. That is so dehumanizing, and I think that that's what has been behind my work at Amnesty International, where I worked, at CARE, where I work, at the American Friends Service Committee. It has been this critical and insatiable appetite to bring a little bit of heaven on earth.
But what really inspired you to look at it the way you do? Because most of us go through, stay in hotels and stuff like that, use soap and what have you, and we just, go wherever we want. What made the difference in your mind?
Two things. One was this interesting idea that my father used to make soap, and I watched him do the experiment in the house, literally from scratch. So there was that little imprint in the brain about the soap
sort
making
of
process.
DNA.
Yeah. So he was also an entrepreneur of sorts. So I had that locked in there. But then another piece, a second point that inspires me around this particular issue is that then war broke out in Uganda, and we had to leave to become refugees in Kenya. And there I saw us move from a comfortable life to a life of not having as much as we wanted to. And then I landed in Philadelphia at a hotel where I saw 3 bars of soap, hand washing, body soap, and facial soap, plus the shampoos, if you had nappy hair like me. And I just was mesmerized by the fact that they had different bars of soap for their bodies. I was thinking, who does that? But anyway, to cut the long story short, I figured that there was an interesting problem going on. They would replenish those bars every evening. Whenever I used some, they would bring new stuff. So I found out that when you left the hotel, they threw away all the remaining bars in the trash. That's how I came to the idea of recycling.
An average person might look at that and say, you know what, this is a great business opportunity. Rather than in fact thinking about helping others, people who are less fortunate than you and I.
In life, if you're driven by this passion to make money all the time, you lose out on the softer issues. Money will always come, but you follow your dream and vision, and it brings back success to you. So I think my first inclination was I was driven by this idea of unfairness, the fact that people did not have this little thing called soap, which is very, very critical to child health care. For example, we lose 2 million kids every year to diarrheal diseases. Why should that happen? If you put a bar of soap in their hands, you could mitigate that by 40%. So that's what drove me, and money will come later on.